considering this is how we are doing the Raw reviews now. I don't know how well this is going to come out considering fucking BT are the worst internet ever. I'm not going to get into that. All I can say is anyone, if you're looking for good internet, then you really, really need to look elsewhere than BT. And I really need a shave, is what I've discovered in these opening minutes. First, let's get to a couple of questions. I had a few people inbox me on Twitter. You know, I didn't know that you could direct message someone if unless you were following them. They asked me, why do you look up every now and then when you're doing the reviews? I said to them, it's simply because during Raw itself, I take one or two like notes, you know, basically a small paragraph or a sentence about like, you know, a certain match or a certain segment. So, you know, I keep it fresh in my mind because let's be honest, unless you're from the UK, you're not going to get this. But us UK people, we have to stay up until like 4 a.m., you know, to watch it, and it starts at 1. We're already fucked by that time. So, you know, a little snippet here and there of information isn't the worst thing ever, and it helps me deliver a better review to you guys. Anyway, with that being said, I feel quite insulted because Raw started off this week with a basic highlight package, and you probably saw me glance up towards my notes there just to make sure I've got it right. Essentially, though, I don't need to go off much notes with this segment because all it was, you know, I don't I really, really don't know what they're trying to do with Roman Reigns. Like, it just feels like, when are you going to give it up? Like, you know, it's like, it's exactly like this, basically. You know, you get a new pet dog or whatever, but your family, you know, your kids, or even your wife in certain circumstances, just won't take to him or her. And eventually you have to get rid of the dog. That being said, WWE, it's time to put your big dog project down because this ain't working. Roman Reigns, to me, came off last night as an obnoxious prick that likes to talk down to women, whether that's meant to, you know, make me feel like, oh, yeah, I want to root for you. And then he sneak attacked a man who was picking up his wife because she felt scared of him. And Roman Reigns is the babyface in this? I don't think so, but you know, more on that later. So basically, Roman Reigns comes down like after Stephanie comes out and is basically saying, "Oh, my husband Triple H won't be here tonight because of corporate meetings, blah blah blah. It has nothing to do with Roman Reigns, etc., etc." But obviously, that's not the case. Roman comes out and says, "Rah rah rah! At WrestleMania, I am going to be the new authority and all this bollocks." I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't interested in this segment at all. It was short and sweet, which I thought was good. You know, I thought the less Roman Reigns, the better. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. Well, it wasn't the case, as we'd find out later on in the night. Although I have to say, next up, we did have a match between AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, which was surely, you know, if you thought Jericho and AJ's match was it a fast lane, if you thought that match was good, I'm not saying this is better. I'm not. I don't know, to be honest with you. But all I know is that it was a really, really, really good match, and I enjoyed it. WWE though, they need to stop doing commercials during. You know, they need to stop doing commercials during the fucking basically during the matches, man. It ruins the flow of them. I mean, someone posted on Twitter, and I suppose they're right. They said that it, you know, it shows a lot of faith and trust in both men. They're able to keep, you know, they're able to keep the flow, keep the fans interested over like, you know, a 2-3 segment deal. And I understand that, but for me, when you're seeing, you know, a great match like this, I mean, this match had everything. Like, had pure wrestling ability, high wrestling, high risk stuff, technical ability. It had it all. It was really, really good. Even Kevin Owens hit a frog splash for crying out loud. You know, everyone was made to look strong. All the competitors were made to look strong in that match. So AJ don't lose no momentum. Neither does Kevin Owens. Until Jericho, of course, comes out chanting AJ Styles, etc., etc. Kevin Owens gets the sneaky heel victory. Although I hate it when they say you steal a victory. A roll up is not stealing a victory. If you have your foot on the ropes or whatever, that's stealing a victory, to say the least. Then Sami Zayn, Ziggler, and The Miz all come out and they're like, yeah, I want the IC title. I want the IC. No, I want the IC title. And Kevin Owens says, at that point, we're going to get a triple threat between those three. And you'll see why I said it like that in the coming moment, shall we say, because it didn't exactly pan out like that. But nonetheless, a triple threat for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental title. Next, we had the New Day out in the League of Nations, and to be honest, the match itself weren't all that. Essentially put, the New Day just took the piss out of the League of Nations, which, you know, if you like that kind of comedy, if you like that kind of stick, that's fine. Me personally, like, I like some of the stuff they do, but some of the stuff is a bit like over my head. Maybe it's because like of my age and stuff like that. You know, that's fair enough because WWE is a PG company. In terms of wrestling ability, all of the guys in the ring are actually good workers, which is why it's such a shame to, you know, to see the League of Nations at least in such a bad way in terms of their position on the card. I mean, everyone in that group, well, I bear with me, but everyone in that group has something to offer, right? And as I just thought of Alberto Del Rio, you know, I kind of rolled my eyes and shit like that because Alberto Del Rio is a great in-ring technician and stuff like that, but he has no personality whatsoever. At least Sheamus, like, you know, his whole gimmick, his whole deal could be like he's a hard Irish fighting Irish bastard, copyright Finley and stuff like that. You know, Wade Barrett, you know, the bad news gimmick was working fine. Why they took that off him, I don't know. Something about, you know, they couldn't afford the fucking podium or something like that. I don't know. That was the report going around at the time. But you say you can't afford that here, yet fucking, you know, you can afford to have all this ridiculous pyro and shit like that. Fucking ridiculous. I don't know. Anyway, New Day win with the big ending eventually. But I've got to be honest, the match bores me. And when I say New Day, I should really reiterate that I think it was Big E versus Rusev. And that's another thing. If you look at Rusev's position on the card last WrestleMania, basically, it makes me wonder how the fuck like Rusev could have fallen so far. It's crazy, man. Nonetheless, you know, this feud is trickling over to WrestleMania, I suppose. I'm not saying that I'd have the New Day lose, but come on, man. You got to find some excuse to keep Wade Barrett sticking around, or else there's going to be some really bad news. Nonetheless, moving on. Big Show was out next to promote the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He goes on about how he won it last year. He even makes light of the times that he's turned face and heel in a way. He says, oh, I've said I'm a giant a lot, blah, 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 blah. Until the social outcasts come out. And believe it or not, they actually get the better of Big Show for a little bit until Kane makes the save. Although then Kane proceeds to chokeslam Big Show and announce his intention to participate in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That's fine by me. I love seeing Dominic Kane, although Big Show gets the line of the night by saying Kane's the man. And why Big Show got up on the top rope with his back turned to Kane is beyond me. That is very much a silly thing to do. Jericho versus Fandango was next in a rematch of, was it their WrestleMania 29 event, I want to say? Fandango doesn't get near enough as many offense. I personally thought that this match would end when AJ comes out and costs Jericho the match, you know, an eye for an eye. But it looks like WWE don't even have enough faith in Fandango anymore to get a kind of dirty win, as AJ did indeed come out, but Jericho still wins with the code breaker. I don't know. It was a mess. Anyway, AJ gives the whole "I've never competed at WrestleMania before" speech, and from then on, it's a big deal. Jericho and AJ. I don't know if it's an official match yet, but AJ definitely did challenge Jericho to a match. KO is out again. They put Roman Reigns on our screen so much every week, and to a point you'd get oversaturated with anyone. Like, if they used anyone in a segment, 3, 4, 5 segments in a show, you'd eventually get sick of anyone. But the fact that Kevin Owens was on our screens at least 4 times last night, if you include like his match, when he went backstage for the Authority, when he went backstage again after this little contest, and then the triple threat, right? And even once before commercial break when he was talking to a referee. So what, 5 times all in all? Anyway, whatever. Palaver. Kevin Owens is out next to introduce the triple threat participants. We thought we were getting Ziggles. I almost said Neville. Ziggles, my boy Ziggles. My guy Sami Zayn, El Galactico, is that what he was called? I don't know. And God, who else? Who's the other guy? The most must-see forgotten WWE champion in history. But no, we get Stardust, Sin Cara, and Zack Ryder instead. I don't know what's happening here, but Kevin Owens got me all ends up. That's what I actually put in my note. Anyway, Ziggler, Zayn, and Miz. God, I really find it hard to remember that guy. They eventually do make their way out to the ring, and they do actually, it all ends in chaos until Kevin Owens goes back and he's like, "Oh, Stephanie, help, help, help." And then she sets up a multi-man, what seems to be like a ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental title. Stephanie then says to Kevin Owens she's leaving, which then puts us into our next segment. We see Stephanie getting into a car. She's greeted by her loving husband, dearest Triple H, who then gets attacked as the garage door opens, and we see Roman Reigns standing there. "Oh, I'm wearing a hoodie." Okay, 2 issues with this that I can think of right now, that there might be even more in a minute. The garage door opens, standing there for like 2 seconds. Dude, do you not see the guy? And if so, run him over. Who cares? Don't they have like, lenient self-defense laws in America? I swear if a guy comes to your yard, you can just shoot him. Like, literally. Is that it? That seems like, that would be it for me, but what can I say? Like, in terms of, Roman Reigns, I don't know, man. It felt wrong to me last night. The guy's scared a girl out of her pants. Not literally, of course. I mean, we would probably all love to see that, but Roman scared Stephanie, scared the life out of her, so much so that she has to leave. And then when her husband comes to pick her up, he mugs him off. It's stupid. It doesn't appeal to me at all, and it's crazy. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks are out at ringside. They eventually fucking, I don't know. I think the stream may have frozen, but in the event that it's not, I'm gonna carry on. They trade back and forward insults and little digs and stuff like that, and that was actually more entertaining than, well, basically, to be fair, that was more entertaining than fucking the actual Charlotte match. The copyright diva, I've heard Charlotte referred to as, right? And, I don't actually, sorry, I just need to fucking get rid of a pop-up. I don't actually fucking rate Charlotte. I rate her in the ring, but as a character, no, not at all. Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch will get the job done. Charlotte gets the win over Natalya again with natural selection. Natalya deserves better than this, man. I mean, come on. She's won the Divas title once. You know what? I'm just going to come out and say they don't like Natalya because she's a wrestler. They don't like wrestlers. And I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan. I'm not, because he walked out on the cover